Hello everybody, it is me, Empress Katuzi, and today we're here talking about the Rising of the Shield Hero episode 19. So, man, this episode just answered a lot of questions that I had last episode. I honestly thought that they weren't going to say anything, but then they just kept on saying anything, because I was wondering what the weapon was that the Pope was using, and then right after in my head I was like, what is this? And then he changes the sword, his ultimate sword that he has in his hand, to a spear, and then in my head I'm just like, is this what I think it is? And then he just says it out loud. Apparently, this is the world tried to create the legendary hero weapons, and then forged four weapons into an ultimate one weapon that can change into all the weapons. Now that's pretty cool. Later on, the spear hero says that it's an unfair weapon, but I actually think that that's actually a pretty fair weapon, because if he because even though he's the bad guy right now, if you have him using this weapon that can turn into all the weapons, and he's able to, he, even without those weapons, he would barely be able to fight the heroes. But if he had that weapon, he's pretty much on an even playing field. But at the same time, he still has all four of the legendary hero powers, so it is, I guess, kind of unfair in that degree. But I like how, is he? I wonder if he's gonna use the shield heroes shield at all. Probably not. He's probably only gonna use the spear and the sword. He's probably not even gonna think about using the bow or the shield. And one thing that I noticed is how when it showed all of his followers and stuff like that, I was wondering, in order for him to use the legendary sword, he needs to have lots and lots of mana, and he needs hundreds of followers and believers to believe in him, to give mana to him in order for him to use the legendary weapon. But I like it how if you're just a hero, if you're just one of the legendary heroes, you don't need it at all. You just need yourself to just consume your own mana, and then it barely consumes your mana at the most. They can just keep on going, but then for the Pope, he needs people. And I don't know if it was different in the manga. I think that in the manga, I think that you died after you lost your mana, from this thing, or maybe it was something else that happened in the manga that I'm remembering. Maybe not, because like I said, it's been a while since I've read that. I haven't read that since the first episode aired of this series. We also saw the spear hero just kept on endlessly trying to attack the Pope, but it just kept on not working. He even used his multi attack with his party last episode. No effect. He even used his meteor strike thing that we saw a few episodes back. That didn't work. And then the Pope is just useless. You're just denying the inevitable. After he shot the blast, because we saw him do it last episode, then we saw it at the beginning of this episode, Nafumi tried to dodge it, and he was able to dodge it again with his Wrath Shield. Is that his Wrath Shield if it was the black one? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was. Or was it the green one? I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure it was the Wrath Shield. And then as he's trying dodging it and protecting everyone, he notices that if it goes any longer, then it's making his arms really numb. And that's a pretty awesome detail, man. A lot of details, even when they were Nafumi was trying to think of ways and ways to do it. I really like it throughout the season, how he thinks a lot. We actually see him doing it within his head. In most series, characters to say it right out loud, and we saw him trying to figure out a way to remove the Pope's followers in order to make him not use up mana to use the legendary weapon. And then he asked Melty to use a sleeping pill, but then they're saying that it's impossible to use mana against any of the followers because they're protected by the mana around them. Apparently, if there's a large quantity of mana, then it protects you. And then when the spear hero did shoot at him, a shield formed in front of the Pope. And then in my head, just before, when I was saying lots of questions, I was in my head, I'm just is that an air shield? Is he using an air shield technique right there, or is he using or is he using a magic skill? When a few episodes back we saw Nafumi use a magic skill when he got during the Vittoria and dinosaur scene. We saw him use magic, but then he got bounced away and flew away from an aftershock of the battle. And then after that, a few seconds later, it ended up getting told that apparently it was because of the mana around them that it just automatically protected the Pope as well, because that's where the mana is going. So it's just protecting him. And then so far, right now, I'm at the part where Nafumi's just trying to figure out what to do. So far, everything's really intriguing, and I can't wait to see what happens in the rest of the episode. This is called the Four Cardinal Heroes, so I can't wait to see if Ren and Izuki show up. And yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes for the rest of this. Okay, I am back. So I've watched from around 8:30 minutes to about 16:25, about 16:30. So I like it how right after I said, I wonder when Ren and Izuki going to show up, they show up right away. They literally showed up 1 second later and they attacked the Pope's shield. And I like it how with both heroes attacking at once, he was able to destroy the Pope's shield out of nothing, and the Pope just moves over a little bit. And I like it how they can do it like as a team, but then when they do it later, it didn't do anything. Like when they're on the ground, but then if they got closer, it worked. But wow, I like it how like we saw Itsuki just use like a normal like move, but then we saw Ren use a like a new move that we didn't see before. And someone said it in the comments of where I watched this is that I like it how Ren is just like 100 swords, but then you only see like 10 to 12 swords. Like literally, he says 100 swords and he doesn't even summon 100 swords. Like he's not even unlimited blade works. He doesn't do like thousands of swords, just 12. Even though he says 100, like makes no sense right there. Guess they didn't want to animate 100 swords when you could have just have done copy paste, copy paste, copy paste. But I guess it would have been too all over the place. But even just having like a bunch in one spot would have been cool instead of it just being just 10 to 12 just glowing ones around him. One thing that I actually liked that I saw is how we saw how the Pope, or maybe just not the Pope, or maybe just like his men, like his like brothers and sisters that were like a part of the church. We actually saw them as people because like once Ren like and Izuki were saying how the queen is gonna show up, we saw like all of the popes like people like worry and getting like sort of like out of their delusions a little bit. But then the Pope ended up like getting the back up on his side by like believing in God and all that and saying to have faith in him and God instead of like believing that the queen will come and ruin everything. But I thought it was cool we saw it because in the manga it seemed like they were just blind followers that did like everything that he said or did everything for God. But in this, we saw them like hesitate for a moment, which I think was pretty cool to see. One thing that I thought was very weird was how was how the Pope. I forgot to talk about forgot to talk about this earlier. But the Pope was able to just like summon lava out of nowhere and shoot flames out of his spear, which makes absolutely no sense to me. Like it makes sense that his laser shot like caused like lava bricks to be around them, like in the hole that they're in, but like summoning the fire and lava. I'm just like, does he have a wrath shield too now? Like, well, what the heck is this like combined sword capable of? Like, of course, it's limited, but if they actually like were to like describe it to us and to, like say all of its capabilities, it probably has some pretty awesome powers that we don't even know of yet. One thing that I really liked also was how they showed Ren and Izuki's like survival. Like last episode, I said that if it's a total bullshit answer, I'm just going to ignore it. But it was actually a pretty good answer. We saw how they barely survived and they were all like hurt and they had to like take healing potions and stuff like that. We saw how apparently the queen's like shadow had to show up and help them and tell them like what's up and stuff like that. And it was pretty cool seeing that. To be honest, in the manga, when Reniki showed up, it was, I think, a little bit cooler than it was here. They're trying to make it, they're trying to like change things. I don't, maybe it happened this way in the light novel, but in the manga, it happened differently. Maybe it's different in the web novel and light novel. But it was cool. One thing that I thought was funny was that we saw the three heroes think that it was the church that was the reason for why Nofumi was a criminal, when in reality it was them and the king instead of the church, which I thought was very funny. How it's really cute how they thought it was the church that did it instead of them. But later on, we saw how Nafumi was telling truth bombs, which was I was waiting for him to say those truth bombs. Like I thought that he was gonna say it last episode. We saw it this episode. He's like saying it all to them, or maybe I said it was gonna happen this episode. I forgot what I said last episode. What I said in my last review. It was weird how as they were talking, the Pope was doing nothing, but then I realized that Ren and Itsuki did a combo move where Ren was like on the lava that the Pope summoned, and he was like on a rock, and he like jumped up, and we saw Itsuki shoot his like arrow blast, and he like shot through like 5 mana shields that the Pope put up, and then Itsuki was able to slash the Pope's like sword right on its edge, like the spear's edge on the blade, and then like the Pope just like fell over and the power went out, and he's just like, oh, I used too much mana. And then I was wondering why he wasn't attacking them as they were talking, but it makes sense how he was gathering mana, so I guess it makes sense right there. And I really hate how Nofumi wouldn't like do Futoria's request. Like he was trying to do it last episode, but they're all together. The mood is right, and then Nafumi's just like, I don't want to team up with you. Like literally, you're not even listening to Futoria anymore. Like if he listened, like even like an ounce of like to just throw away his like beef with them for like a few seconds, like even like them, they're just like saying like I guess they wouldn't have gotten the truth bombs that we got like before the 1630 mark, but like literally you could have just have done it. You could have done it, but then he just says no. He just wants to like team up with his party members, saying that they can be on their own when he literally had a chance. There was a chance. I like it how Nafumi was mentioning to the spirit hero about thinking for yourself, and he's like talking about how he blindly follows the king and follows mine, and then like I like it how the sword hero Ren is just like, yeah, Moyatu, why don't you think for yourself? And I thought that was a pretty funny line because they seem like, even though that they work on their own, even though they're loners, I guess two loners are good friends because that's what Ren and Itsuki are. One thing that I thought was a very like fresh breath of air was how all of the heroes started arguing with each other once Nofumi did the truth bombs. I really enjoyed that. How they were all arguing with each other and they're just like trying to like like we saw the spirit hero try to like put the blame onto the other heroes, which I guess goes with his stupid brain. We saw Itsuki just be like, "What? You're one to talk." But yeah, I really enjoyed this middle part of this episode. It was pretty enjoyable. So yeah, I can't wait to see how it's gonna end and see if maybe the queen might show up or maybe the pope might surprise us. But I don't know. So yeah, I'll be back in a few minutes to see what happens. Okay, I'm back now. So I watched the ending of this episode, and one of my questions that I had a few like moments ago, I just got answered. So Nafumi, Nafumi does end up teaming with them, which was pretty cool. I like it how as the teaming up music was happening, like they did a remix of Nafumi's Raid Shield like music that like theme that goes on. And they mixed that with like an uprising song of him like teaming up with the other heroes, and I thought the moment was pretty cool. Like they argued a little bit more when Nafumi was like telling more about his situation. He was also saying about how much he hates them, which was pretty like a total like MC thing to do when he's talking to people that he hates. He like says how much he hates them, and then he reluctantly just teams up with them anyway. So he just says but, and then he teams up with them. I really like it how they showed Victoria like at her sanctuary, just like praying, just being like, "Please, shield hero." But I'm pretty sure like nah, I'm not gonna say anything. I'm not gonna say anything. I'm pretty sure that I know something, but I'm just not gonna say anything. But I really like it how they showed that part and they showed Nafumi like actually like listening to her words. Because like I said earlier, I was telling like bullshit of him like ignoring them. Them seeing how he finally did it, and I like it how they actually agreed with him because they were the one that proposed it. At least they didn't do like a bait and switch with them ignoring him after he ignores them. At least they actually said yeah, that's what we wanted, so we're getting it. So then the three of them agreed, and then they all teamed up with each other, and then they got into like a little stance, and then. And then the episode ended with the Pope doing something pretty cool. He summoned like a high level magic, and then all of his like Pope members were like saying like the Decipher of Laws like magic spell like quote, and then they all summoned this huge dome like around them, like covering them in their hole. And all of it, and they're all the followers are like outside of the like the dome, and only the Pope's there with his like legendary weapon. That's just insane. Like it was really cool. Like it was mostly CGI, but it was pretty cool. Like when it first happened, like when he summoned the spell, it was like a giant like dark hole was appearing. It was like this giant lunar eclipse sun, and I was like, that's pretty evil. That looks evil. But then once it transformed into like this greenish, yellowish thing, I was like, okay, that's a little bit more cuter right there. With like some colors instead of it just being like purple, black, and gold. Like man, it looked evil at first, but then it turned into something that's normal. But it was a pretty cool dome. And then he like when you saw the Pope's face, that face that he made. Like now that was like a rape face or an evil face, one of those two. Like man, but man, this episode was pretty enjoyable. I can't wait to see the next episode. I guess we're not going to see the Queen until the ending of next episode, or maybe episode 21. But man, there's still 25 episodes. There's still like 5 episodes left. No, wait, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. There's still 6 episodes left. Wow, we're probably gonna get past this part. We're probably gonna have like an after party like episode, probably like an ending scene, and then this series is pretty popular right now. Like it's getting as popular. I think it's as popular as Slime, but yeah, they are marketing it as much as they did Slime. But I think maybe Slime was a little more. I can't tell. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. If you enjoyed my thoughts, opinions, and my thoughts, what? About this episode, then leave a like. If you didn't enjoy this whatsoever, then leave a dislike. And yeah, see you guys in the next video or other stuff like this. And yeah, bye. See you later.